Joining us for more is global business consultant Hillary Fordwich. Hillary, I want to start with you. Why does this matter? I mean, what is the impact on the American family should the government shut down?
Well, there's going to be many people that think of one side and the other. That's also why, of course, they can't come to agreement. And what's so sad is we all know September 30th kind of comes around every year. So it's amazing that they couldn't get this done earlier, and that during the summer when they went home for their August recess, they couldn't have worked on this then, because there are some people that will be affected rather drastically, those that are on food stamps who can't buy, say, baby formula, and those that live right on the edge that need their paycheck to survive. And on the other hand, it's like giving more crack cocaine, as the Republican from Tennessee, Tim Burchett, said. He said this is like trying to get someone off crack when you give them more crack cocaine. So it means that if we just keep spending and spending and spending, we'll never stop. So Americans on both sides of the aisle should be really concerned. We need to rein in spending, but we cannot be frivolous and cannot keep spending at the rate that we have, because we're going, as FIS already downgraded the dollar. Don't forget, they said it was two things. They said one of them was reckless spending and the other one was leadership. And we're seeing the lack of leadership on both sides here, because we have to get something done and not keep leaving it every year down to the deadline.
Absolutely. In fact, here is Speaker McCarthy on whether he thinks a shutdown can be avoided or not. Take a listen.
I know Sunday is football day. It is the weekend. It's sometimes we get right there, we play through. We get into overtime, we get it done. If we're both past something, that's a good thing. Then we both know where the markers are, right? They haven't passed anything yet. They haven't even passed an appropriation bill yet. So it's interesting, it all hinges over here, but that's okay. We'll take that. And
are you saying you expect a shutdown?
No, I'm saying we work through this and get it done.
Now, John, he's talking about the politics here, but if you really focus in on the actual reality, you know that, as Hillary mentioned, Fitch did downgrade the U.S. dollar. We've got Moody's coming out and saying that if we continue down this path, if there is a shutdown, there could be another downgrade. You had John Chambers, who's the former chairman of the S&P, coming out and saying that America is weaker today than we were at the last downgrade back in 2011. So you're a business guy. Again, what happens with the ratings over there in the fanciful world of finance does in many ways truly impact all Americans on Main Street struggling in this Biden economy.
Absolutely. But there's a clear difference between how you would manage it from a business perspective and then how you would manage it in terms of the politics. And those two things are often not aligned. Yes, I agree in terms of the debt downgrade, in terms of increasing the budget, increasing the deficit is not good for the American people, especially at a time where the American people are confronted with possible additional rate hikes, as well as paying more at the gas pump and everything else in the grocery store and throughout the retail industry. So we have to make sure that we bargain and get a deal, maybe not spend as much on certain categories. But the optics and the narrative coming out, we don't want as a party, the Republican Party, that we forced a government shutdown. That's not going to go over well. Why? Because when you look at past elections, when we are blamed for a government shutdown, as far as how the people see it, the voters see it, it doesn't work well the following year. So we have to figure out how do we reduce and at the same time claim credit for slight reductions and at the same time get things back on track. Because if we don't gain power again, this thing is going to get worse.
Betsy, your thoughts?
Well, one single thought. We're battling the spendaholics. That's what this is about. People who think, as Joe Biden does, that you can just spend, 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 and there are no limits. So, Hillary, let me ask you, you're on the ground there. What is the major spending issue?
Well, the one that they did not pass, they did pass a number of bills. What they did not pass was agriculture. And that was two things. It was the Republicans were against. It was the major cut to the farm programs, and also, and I hope I pronounce this correctly, mifpristazone, which is an immediate over-the-counter pharmacy drug to induce abortions. Those were the two sort of hanging up points with the agriculture bill. Let's remember, though, that the Republicans did unite, and McCarthy was seen smiling last night because 4 of the 12 bills were passed. But I don't know that they're going to get through the Senate. But that's definitely been a holdup. I will say Republicans have now voted to support the $300 $300 million that's going to continue to go to the Ukraine, and that had been pulled out of the defense budget. The area of hope is that both Democrats and Republicans are united on the ghastly situation on the border with too many migrants coming across. And it looks like there may be unification with regard to Trump's policy, which was the Remain in Mexico policy. So that's an area of big hope. And McCarthy has verbalized that he's hoping that because Democrats and Republicans feel the same about this migrant surge, that may be a point of uniting. But it is kind of looking like we're going to go into at least a partial shutdown because September 30th is tomorrow.
Absolutely. Going to have to leave it there.